Good afternoon, it's Friday, the 19th of May, 2017. We've been working out here on the road. I have been working like crazy in the house just on little stuff. Online, I did downloaded, reviewed, edited, exported, uploaded, and scheduled 2 videos for E39 Source Publishing on the 22nd and the 24th, I think, next Monday and Wednesday. We did the spark plug DIY on Jeff's E93 335, E92 335. That'll publish Monday, and then Michael did an update on his 02 M5 that's going to publish next Wednesday from California. So that's scheduled. They came today with a, with that, whatever you call that, and chipped out some road. Kind of just banged the hell out of it. You know, they cut it there yesterday, and then he just beat the shit out of it with that claw until it broke up and then scooped it off into a truck. And now behind that fern, there's a cement mixing truck. And I guess they're gonna try to fill that. And they're just setting up the foundation for the new road. But they're making a lot of noise out there. Otherwise, I was gonna mow, and I got my mowing gear all set up, and then it started to thunder and lightning, and it's supposed to rain for a little bit. Not a whole lot coming in, but enough that it would make a mess, and I'm not gonna go out and mow in the rain. So that's kind of what's going on today. I haven't heard about the car. It's 2:30. I'm hoping to get that later this evening. I'll keep you guys updated. In the meantime, I'm going to go change out of the mowing gear and head to the bank. I've got a bunch of random cash from mowing and whatever that I'm going to deposit. I also spent some time earlier today going through my online accounts and Safari. You know, Safari remembers credit card information and stuff. And I probably had like 15 cards in there, most of which are expired, the wrong version, the wrong code. I had to get a new one, whatever. So I went through and updated all of that information, which took about an hour. I wonder what one of those trucks costs new. It's probably like Ferrari money, just due to the amount of hydraulics and heavy equipments on it. So clearly they're doing one lane at a time, so the road is still drivable. But this is probably going to add quite a bit of time to this project, because now they've got to let this cement dry before they come and do anything else with it. I'm also thinking they may not grind down the middle section of the road if they want the road to have a crown. So water runs off, then it would make sense if they didn't grind it down. I just don't know if asphalt would adhere to something that is more of a smooth surface than the grinding. I mean, cement itself inherently isn't very smooth, so maybe that works. So I stopped at the bank, deposited my cash. It rained, then it stopped raining, and now it's just cloudy. But I went over to Larrick to see how things are going, and he finished it in the back today. He got the PowerFlex black bushings on the front and rear of the rear H-arms. I think I mentioned in last night's clip that Tom texted me and asked if I wanted to do the ball joints because it was a great time to do that, and I said, yeah, let's do it. They had them in stock. So the ball joints are done. It is ready for an alignment asterisk. We're missing a part that does not exist, and I've known about this for a little while, and now I'm finally forced to deal with it. So where the outer tie rod goes into the spindle, there's a sleeve in there. The spindle assembly is made out of aluminum. The tie rod is steel. Steel would screw up that aluminum over time, so there's a steel sleeve in there. Problem is, mine doesn't have a steel sleeve in there. My passenger side does, but the driver's side doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I remember something about this years ago. Colt and I think it was when we did my front wheel bearings, we had to disconnect the tie rod, maybe. And when we did that, something broke out of there. And we're like, what is this? It was broken. We couldn't find it on Real OEM. We went to a machine shop and they looked at it and they're like, yeah, we could make it, but it's going to take a couple days. And I just wanted the car on the road. So we put it back together and I didn't notice any ill effects. That was like 2-3 years ago. But I guess now it is it is problematic. But anyways, the part doesn't exist unless you buy the entire spindle, which is quite expensive, and then that would require moving the wheel bearing over, taking the strut out of the pinch, and oh my god, it would just, you know, everything that connects to your front suspension and steering is connected to your spindle. I mean, it's the wheel carrier. Ton of labor to do that, not difficult. I wouldn't have to replace any of the components, I just bolt them right back up. But I don't really want to have to replace the spindle. It'd be a couple hours labor plus the $300 or $400 spindle and a couple more days. So I'm gonna go back to Adam in Maryland and see if there's any way he can source just the sleeve that I need. If he had the sleeve, he could put it in there, and in 10 minutes the wheels are on, the car's on the ground, and it's ready for an alignment. So that's my goal. If Adam won't sell me just the sleeve, then I'll frickin' buy a spindle, take the sleeve out of it, and stick the spindle in the basement. Because this spindle at the bottom, where one of the control arms attaches, there's a crack in it. And there's a crack because they have to beat the shit out of it with a mallet to be able to get the control arms out because they seize in there. It's normal, it's common. It's not really an issue. It's really thick aluminum and it's a very small crack. So I'm not worried about it, but you know, if I have to replace the spindle, this is the one I would want it to be, and having one on hand wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. But that's where we stand. I've already messaged Adam on the Facebook Messenger to see if he can find one of those puppies. I'm gonna go home and do some research on it, see if there's anything I can find online, eBay. Maybe I'll post in the owners group and see if anybody knows anything or has one. But that's the update. So it's 4 o'clock, I'm gonna head back. I think Razvan's gonna come over, we'll hang out for a bit, and then game 2 tonight in Boston, Cavaliers, Celtics, Eastern Conference Finals game 2. So it looks like they put the monument boxes in today, whatever the hell that's for. And they're sticking up maybe, I don't know, it's hard to tell from here, 2 inches, 1.5 inches. So I suppose that's where they're gonna fill up with asphalt. It was a night of a couple NBA records. Cleveland led by 41 points at the halftime. That's the largest halftime lead of any NBA game. They scored 130 points by the end of the game, which was a franchise high in a postseason game. And I think it was the largest Cavalier win by 44 points. They led by as many as 51 or 52. Absolute beatdown in Boston. Poor Isaiah Thomas. He played, what, 22 minutes, 0 for 6 on shot attempts. He finished with 2 points that were both foul free throw shooting before straining his right hip. So he went out and was out the remainder of the game, really the whole second half. But Cleveland leads the series 2-0, and now it comes back to Cleveland. So very interesting stuff going on with that. Anyways, today's video should be long enough. I'm tired, I'm gonna go to bed. I don't know, it is 11:30, that's pretty early. I'll probably watch a Family Guy and then go to bed. Tomorrow's Saturday. Oh, the whole car stuff. Yeah, that part, I can't even find what it's called. It does not exist anywhere. Adam's on vacation until this next week sometime, so I guess we're just gonna play the waiting game, see how quickly he can source one, assuming he can, and then ship it to Ohio and then get it in. So it's a 2-day steering box job is turning into a week or more of now playing the waiting game on parts that don't exist anymore. But I've got a lot of avenues that I could take. There's a couple on eBay that look really crappy, but I could buy them just to get the part I need out of them. Or the new ones, I called BMW Cleveland and the dealership in Akron. Neither one of them had them, and they said that they would be 3 to 5 weeks from Germany. I called BMW South Atlanta. They're much better with this stuff. They said that the last inventory check done on that part was in June of 2014. So it's been 3 years, and at that time there was one at New Century BMW in Los Angeles. So I called them. The guy said it didn't have a bin identifier on it, but he was going to put his shipping and receiving guy on top of tracking it down, and that he'd call me before the end of the day. I left my name and number. He never called, so I don't know. But the whole new knuckles wheel carrier spindles are like $360. I don't need that or want that. I just want a little $5 sleeve. So whatever. I've talked about it enough today. I'll figure it out. And I hope you guys had a good week, and we'll talk on Saturday. Good night.